Welcome back to our Tim Hotel Playoffs edition. I'm your host Isaiah. Now, Buddy had to go do something. I don't think that was all right. Anyway, so we have our next game, the Jags, and we have our next game, the Jags versus the Cardinals. June, why don't you tell me a little bit about that game and what do you think is gonna happen?
The Jags and the Cardinals. Yo, why isn't Leo here? It seems like every time Leo loses, he doesn't want to come to Team Hotel TV.
Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with Leo. I think football wise, him and his assistant coach haven't been clicking very much. So he hasn't been showing up because he has to work. Alex. So Leo likes to schedule. I think he likes to schedule an earlier game so he could just stay out of his way. I don't know. That might be just my assumption, but that's what I've been seeing lately. And now Leo's not here, following his team's loss.
I heard he likes the earlier games because his main John doesn't see his side John,
Ooh.
and his side John be at the park too, and then his main John comes afterward. I don't know, it's something like that. I mean, his Johns are just confused. I'm confused about his Johns. But I mean, that's Leo. I mean, it seems like this year he's not focused on football. He's just focused on his Johns. But I wish he would come to Team Hotel Live and explain his case. But that's Leo.
Okay, so speaking of Leo, let's talk about the Jags. They lost to the Chargers by 3 points. Who do you think is going to be, a top contributor in this upcoming playoff game against the Cardinals, the number one defense?
Mike.
You think Mike
Yeah.
is going to be a top?
Mike.
Mike, yeah, we know. Mike, you wouldn't. What about you, June? Who do you think is going to be the top contributor in this playoff game? Like they're going up against the number one defense, so I think they really need to step it up on offense.
It depends what John Leo brings.
Okay.
Or if he even comes.
Okay.
He's been MIA. I mean, the team's been there, but nobody else been. But I would say you gotta get my man Noah involved.
Noah, yeah.
Noah. Also, Adrian. If Adrian comes to play, he's always a good asset to the team.
Adrian, yeah, I would agree. What about you, Gio? Who you think is going to make a name for himself in this playoff game
Buck.
for the Jags?
Oh, for the Jags.
Yeah.
Oh,
Carlos
say something
and the
about
running back.
Carlos, I can agree with that.
Carlos
I can
and the
agree with
running back,
Carlos. The running back, you know his name?
Jose.
Jose. All right.
Joselito.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Sumo?
I'm just let Buck know that Carlos is really athletic, and he tried to throw that back shoulder pass is just gonna get picked off. But I think Noah been sleeping this past couple of weeks, so hopefully.
Yeah, I can agree with June. It's all on Leo, It's all on the coaches, Leo's a really good coach, but following losses, I think he has his reasons. I think he's keeping it secret. But that's just Leo, You never know what's going on in his beard. I mean his head. So now we're gonna talk about the Cardinals now. Number one defense. They've been killing it last couple weeks. I mean, they did come off a loss to the Texans for the second time this season during our flex week. So June, why don't you tell me a little bit about who do you think?
Well, Cornell, I've been really impressed with him. The way he's putting together that team. Defense, number one defense speaks for itself. He's been doing his thing. Cornell's my man. I don't care what Buddy says about him. He's a very good coach.
Yeah, I hear Buddy has been down talking the Cardinals a lot.
Yeah, especially Cornell.
Me personally, I think the Cardinals are gonna have a very one and done season, and I say that because during the season they haven't been playing a lot of pretty much competition. I'm not gonna downplay them. They have two, maybe not three top MVP candidates: the quarterback and the receiver. Receiver 17 touchdowns on the season, and the quarterback, 35 touchdowns. So yeah, I think they're good, but they played against a good team twice and lost. The same good team, and they didn't change the strategy up. Defense they run is easy to beat. So I think the Jaguars have an edge in this game. And I think the Jaguars did beat them as well, too, in the regular season. The Jaguars did beat them in the regular season. So I feel like, you know, the Jaguars are going to beat them again because the Cardinals don't know how to play. You know, they don't know how to play.
They don't know how to play.
They don't know how to play. I'm putting it like that. They don't know how to play against a good team. So when it comes to a good team, they don't know how to play.
I don't know.
So, Gio, what do you think? Like, who do you think will be a top contributor for the Cardinals?
Are you gonna be a coach next year?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like, do you think?
Are you think
Do
you're
you,
gonna
do
be a
you
coach next year?
think
For sure, I'm gonna be a coach next year.
you're gonna be a coach? You're announcing now. All right, but for real, who do you think is gonna be top?
The-
But and like,
Did y'all?
all right, wait. Your team, right? Let's just go off your team, right? Did you play against the Cardinals?
Yeah,
Okay. How did that happen? Like, what happened?
I had no starters.
Who was a big contributor for the Cardinals?
Number 5.
All right. Now let's get back to the playoffs. Who do you think will be a big contributor on the Cardinals, the
and
team
the-
that beat y'all?
Every
But
team beat us. Buck and
how much did they beat you by?
2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns.
Okay, all right. Sumo, who do you think will be a top contributor
For the Cardinals,
for the Cardinals?
Everett. They reward their receiver.
The MVP candidate?
And
I
their
don't-
and their
I
linebacker.
don't think that's his name. But
Whatever his name is.
was Eric Dickerson.
that is
all
his
right,
name.
score predictions. June, what do you think?
So
will
who
be
do
the
you think
outcome?
is gonna be a big factor? Since you want to ask us questions, who do you think is gonna be a big factor?
The Cardinals? I think I'm gonna give it to their whole defensive.
Did y'all
team.
play the Cardinals this year?
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
Did y'all?
No.
Okay.
They didn't want to
no
play.
room for error
We
there.
did.
Yeah, they didn't want to play us neither, because you know who we're number one. I think that I'm gonna start it off here. I think that the Cardinals will lose. You know, they have the number one defense, but Leo team does know how to play together. They beat us in the first round last year after following our championship season. So I think the Jaguars will win 31-12. June.
I don't know. I mean, it can go either way. Depends what Jaguar team comes out. So if coming from a loss, I know that they're gonna bounce. They're gonna bounce back strong. So Nova's gonna get involved. And Adrian's gonna get involved. It's gonna be a tough game for that defense. So I'm gonna put a tight
that was
game. I know they're not gonna keep them from scoring, but it's gonna be a tough game. I will say 18-12, Jags.
That's a good one. Gio, what do you think will be the score of this game coming up against the Cardinals and the Jaguars? And don't forget your verses this week. You know, it's playoffs. You really need to focus on your verses this year, this week. I mean, and you have to. Security. Yes. Can security confirm? So, all right, Gio.
I think
But,
maybe 26-12.
the verse this week.
Cardinals gonna lose. They ban me, freaking bums.
Did you ever play a game this week? Sir, can you come up here, please, sir?
How old
Yeah,
are
can
you?
you,
How
you
old
after
are
saying
you?
that, you gotta come up here.
No,
After
this
saying
is-
that, you gotta come
This
up here.
is Timoteo Hall of Famer Pacheco. What's your last name?
That is.
That is my last name.
Okay, this is Timoteo Hall of Famer. You know, he broke a lot of records in the summer camp. You know, he's been injured this year with an injury on your knee. Is that right?
I had tendonitis.
Tendonitis. I never heard of it, but it's a really serious injury. You know, it can happen to many athletes. So who are you playing for this week? I heard you were the
Texans,
free
Pop.
agent by the end.
Texans.
You gonna play with the Texans?
Yeah.
All right. What position do you play?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
What position are you going to be playing on the field is what I mean.
Defensive back. Lockdown Raymond Jr. Old game.
Okay, all right. The Cardinals, right? What happened between you and the Cardinals?
Well, apparently what happened was somebody wanted to miss train.
Who is that somebody?
Dave.
It's on camera. You snitching. You just snitched on camera.
I don't.
How was Cornell as a coach?
You don't care?
What happened?
How was Cornell as a coach?
How is Cornell?
I mean, you're not on the
He
team no
chose,
more.
bro.
You
He
said you got
chose.
kicked off the
He
team.
chose. He chose, bro.
Oh, you choked?
Yo.
That's not right. He gave you a chance.
He
Yeah,
gave
he
you a
gave you a
chance.
chance.
Ball man like
He
that.
gave me a chance.
You
but
said
he
you were a
banned
defensive
me,
back.
bro.
You say
Banned you? Yeah.
You was
All
becoming
right.
a problem.
I wasn't becoming a problem.
All right, this is
They
an
wanted
opinion.
to
This is an
translate what I
Listen,
said.
you had a
Listen.
major. Listen,
This is an opinion question right here. All right, so the Cardinals have had the number 1 defense pretty much all season, right? And you were the best defensive player on the team. Would you say?
What he say?
Huh?
Hold on,
Are
what
you
he
listening
Yo,
to me?
we're about the
You
Cardinals
were
right
you
now.
were one of the better defensive backs on the team, right?
I wasn't playing with the Cardinals.
So what team were you playing for? I thought you was just saying you were on the Cardinals.
I was on the sideline. I wasn't on the team.
you was on their practice squad.
Yo, he
Practice
said
squad.
you're a bandwagon. That's Cam from the Chargers. He said you're a bandwagon.
I'm not no bandwagon. You better not throw it to my side, Pop.
So they're the number 1 defense
Texans,
because.
Pop.
So you're saying you were the defensive coordinator?
Whatever.
You were the defensive coordinator.
No, I was just like,
You was a fan.
So wait, what's that
I
on
was
your
a
shirt
motivator.
though? What's that?
You was a motivator.
It's
you
white.
were-
It's
you
white
were the
and dry.
chapel.
whatever.
It's white and dry.
You were the chaplain on the team.
What you mean, Chip?
The motivator.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
I
I
was.
would have went you as a
Bro.
defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
All right,
they
you can
did
come
your
off
game.
now.
Everybody said y'all was gonna
Cardinals,
lose.
Cardinals losing, Chargers winning, and I'm
Say now,
picking
say now, they
Cam
had
up.
y'all winning.
All right. My score 31-12. Gio, what's your
I don't
score?
know.
And that'll do it
no,
for
I think
Timoteo
everybody had your winning.
TV playoff
Everybody
edition.
did.